Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I'm as always Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. Um, feel like I had something to say, but I don't think I did, unfortunately.
That's good.
Oh, I've been watching One Piece live action. It's lovely. I absolutely adore that
Is there
show.
a new season?
Yeah, new season came out last week.
That's fun.
It's tremendous. It's kind of a shame because the thing with TV nowadays is that you have to do eight episode seasons because that's
Hmm.
just the standard. Um, but it didn't really work this time around because they needed to cover all of like the in between stuff between the first big arc and the second big arc. Like you couldn't just jump to the next one.
Yeah.
So they had to cover the in between stuff. And ultimately it's like that could have been done in like 5 episodes, but they didn't want to do 5 episodes of that and then 3 episodes start an arc, like start the big arc. Like it just basically the second season, despite being incredibly well made and well told and well done, uh, is like a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter that much because it was all set up to the next season, which won't come out for another like year and a half at this point.
Okay.
Uh, which is a shame. Like it was great. Like I thought that for the subject matter, like they did a great job with it, but unfortunately, um, the subject matter is just like I said, it was like the you know what are we going to do next? And then they're kind of like figuring out what they're going to do next. And they get a new crew member, my boy Tony Chopper, Bokuwa Doctor Tony Chopper, and yeah, love that guy.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
he's a reindeer boy.
okay.
Yes.
A lot of things you do and say confuse me. I hope you
Mm.
understand. But, that's fine. We're
I
not
just remember the
here.
bit I had like a couple days ago, but we already ran with that.
Okay. Great. Well, head on over to the 5-star-network.com for all of the latest articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of pro wrestling. And head on over to the 5-Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this, as well as shows like Actress Stage and No Limit Wrestling, all go up. You got to plug the No Limit last week, so you don't get to do it again.
That's unfair. We're recording it tomorrow,
No, no, you don't get to do it. Can't
so it should be
steal too
out
much
within a
attention
week.
away from the big show, you know?
Yeah, we also figured out as of now we're thinking about doing other things.
Whoa, other
Yeah,
things.
me, Scott, and Xavi are talking about starting a YouTube channel for non-wrestling things because none of us want to talk about wrestling anymore.
I feel like you
That's
should
not
not
true.
do
It's
every
half
new
true.
idea that comes into your mind.
To be fair, there's
But
been an idea for months because me and Scott want to do the Big Brother podcast, but
yes.
then we realized it was the off season, and we were like, nobody cares.
Mhm.
Nobody cares about Big Brother in fucking November. Uh, so yeah, we're thinking about doing stuff.
Okay. Well, that seems fun.
Yeah,
You guys can.
first March Madness.
Yes. Okay. All right. Um, well, enough of that joyous potential. We're on to Stardom now. Um, Spoilers. They have confirmed a few matches for upcoming shows that are worth touching on. On the 25th of March in Tokyo Shinkiba First Ring, New Blood 30 goes down, and the Future of Stardom
Shinkiba.
Championship. Yeah, I know. The Future of Stardom Championship is on the line as Ron Yagami defends against Aya Sakura in her first defense of the belt. Um, Also official, there are 3 matches announced for All Star Grand. A special switch singles match between a white belt match that is Konami defending against Cinderella Tournament winner Hanan. And in the World of Stardom Championship match, Sai Kamitani defends against Sayaka Kurara. Stipulation not officially official for that one, but we will be able to touch on that when we review the match. Because yeah, the website
Long
doesn't
story short,
list.
I was right.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Okay. I mean, I don't think I said it wouldn't be that. I just didn't think they would do it.
Others said it wouldn't be that.
Okay. Well, I thought she would leave Cosmic Angels, which I think technically she would have to if it goes away.
Everybody
Um,
leaves.
but yeah, so we've got they seem to do this for the Queendom events. They seem to set up the main events like 6-ish weeks before them. I know Tam, Saya, the career match was announced in advance, about a month or so. And then I remember the Ano Saya match was set in like early November. So they seem to have kind of figured out this 6 weeks is the sweet spot for selling tickets to Queendom, and so they've kind of got the three main matches out of the way with your top two belts and Fua-chan already announced, so you can start advertising them. So this seems to be how they're going to do it. That seems to be how Taro kind of builds up these big shows. He likes to have his main event set with enough time to sell it.
Yeah. I'm hoping we get FWC versus Spark Rush. Hazuki said that that was the match that she wants.
Oh, okay.
Um, if Koguma's healthy. Well, she said she didn't say it for Yokohama Arena, but she said she wants to do FWC versus Spark Rush once Koguma recovers and is
Hmm.
back to wrestling. And this was a few weeks ago now, a couple weeks ago now. So I'm hoping that's what we get, since it looks like the tag stuff is kind of illuminating itself. And I imagine they want Sari on that show, but not in like any major capacity.
Yeah.
Like I doubt they want her beaten like another singles star type of thing. Um, which to be fair, how many more single stars are there? But um, actually no, I think like her and Rena would be cool. That'd be cool. That's a
Mm.
you know
It would probably involve Poi again if they did anything, but
Yeah,
you
but
know.
I doubt that. But yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up getting booked there. Yeah, I don't know. It's the card is happening. I like Carrara a lot.
Hmm.
I still am kind of amazed that she's main event for Yoko Arena.
I called that.
But
I called that last year before Tiny
yes,
Card. I was just
yes, you
I was
did.
I was 4 months early. I thought she'd main event the Sumo Hall. Oh no, not this one.
Yeah, no, you were right. This is like the seventh time that we're doing Cosmic Angels in the big match, seventh time in a row. Uh,
Um, fourth Queendom in a row.
oh yeah, it was Micah Momo.
Yeah, but it's the fifth in a row with Hate. Yeah.
Yeah, fifth in a row with Hate. Who wasn't Hate then? It was a Oedo tie still.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Um, fifth in a row for a heel faction, because before that it was Mike Isuzu.
Mm.
Wild. Um, yeah, so we've just been doing this for a long time, but I am kind of shocked that we're giving it to Sakura. She's my favorite wrestler in that match, so I'm not like complaining. But yeah, just it just feels like a strange, not a strange card, a card that is expected. None of it doesn't make sense, but it is kind of wild that this is how it's taken shape, I guess. Um, because yeah, I mean stips, they love their stips.
Yeah, that they do. I mean, it sells, so they might as well. Um,
Yeah,
Marigold just drew for the hair step, so if it
true.
works, it works.
That was awesome.
Um, we do have a big show to review on the 15th of March in the Yokohama Budokan. Stardom ran the Cinderella Tournament final. They did an announced attendance of 1,857, which was a sellout crowd. Pretty even actually to last time they were in the Yokohama Budokan. They did basically 1,800 there as well. Um, I grabbed the Noah number. Noah did 1,900 for Inamura versus Keno. So like that's kind of the competition I would put Stardom up against nowadays. Is are they doing as well as Noah and All Japan in these venues? And I think the Cinderella final doing just a small bit beneath a GHC World Title match is pretty good. So it's a strong number.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Still can't beat the Smack Daddy though. Uh,
Of
yeah,
course.
no, a good number, obviously. Especially for a card that I feel like I say this every month, every week with Stardom. Especially for a card that wasn't that like impressive on paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it
Mhm.
wasn't. Frankly, no disrespect, it wasn't that impressive. Watching it either. But like like it's not like something crazy. But like you look at it, Konami and Saya having great, incredible motion. Right now with the Japanese fan base, and I imagine, truthfully, I just think hate's over. Like I think that's because like who were people cheering for on this show besides like they were cheering for Rena.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. That was pretty much the only one.
Miyu got some.
Yeah, I guess that was like yeah, me to get some, but overwhelmingly, I feel it's just like a hate country, which makes sense because they are a conservative country as well. So you know,
Okay.
hate kind of goes with that. Um, I digress. But yeah, so I think that it is pretty impressive for like a okay card. They got they almost hit 2K.
Okay. All right. Well, let's dive into the matches then and kind of what happened during the show. We opened with a Cinderella Tournament semi-final. Hanan beat Aya Sakura in just under 12 minutes. That was a good, energetic opener. Kind of benefited from being in the opening spot because everything was fresh and new. Aya's kicks were good. I thought Hanan's offense looked good as usual. Just a strong way to start the show. Kind of something we say a lot about Marigold is they could do with this kind of match. We just get out there, you get the crowd going, and then somebody dumps somebody on their head, and everybody's like, "Hell yeah!" Because Hanan was dumping people on their heads.
Yes,
She
he
is
did
great
do
at that.
that. Yeah, I had fun with this one. I didn't have any negatives really about it. I thought it was a fun time.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think Aya is really cool. Like I think that's like I think Hanan dropping people on their heads is a return to form, and I'm quite happy with what she's been doing. Um, I actually really I thought that she had a good night overall,
Hmm.
uh, outside of the last thing, but we'll get to that. Yeah, but I thought Aya did it really well. I found an old picture of a match graphic between Mai Sakurai and Aya Sakura, and I was like, "This is a match from hell." And now I love both of them more than most of their colleagues in both companies. So I think that's kind of funny. Uh, that once upon a time I was like, "This sounds out awful." And now I'm like, "That sounds like it'd be fun." Because yeah, I thought Aya did great here. But
Okay.
yeah, it was nothing like it was nothing crazy though. I thought the next match was much better.
Okay. Our next one was the second semifinal. Rina beat Miyamasaki in just under 14 minutes to get the win. Um, they did kind of tease some of the same spots for Amasaki that got her to this part, and the crowd was kind of into the underdog story, but Rina just kind of eventually crushed her. I thought it was very similar to the opener, so I had them on a pretty same kind of level. Like they were very similar match layouts. Just kind of slightly better executed here because I think Amasaki just did well with Rina. And Rina's obviously wrestling out of her mind, but it was like a continuation of what was good about the first match.
Yeah, I like this one. I think I just like the Miyu Rina dynamic. I liked the
Hmm.
underdog dynamic with Miyu. It felt believable, more so than Hana and Aya. I think that's what separated it. Was that it felt like Miyu was building up these heads of steam that felt compelling and felt like, oh, maybe I knew the result here, obviously, but they felt like it was like meaningful and like it really like could engage the crowd and engaged me, even though I knew what was happening. So I was really impressed with that. I was very happy with that. And yeah, I mean, I think just Rena's a beast. Like her offense is dope, and I like Miyu's. Uh, I don't know what the word. I guess elusive. Like her style. I think she's really cool. That she does a lot of counter wrestling and just kind of um she like gimmick wise her wrestling is smart, and I think that's fun because it's a bit different than a lot of wrestlers because it's like well it's both smart and dumb, I guess, which is kind of awesome because Miyu, she has a way to like kind of like find herself in optimal positions, but she also just like spams DDTs. Like those are her two moods.
Yes.
Is like either she's like doing like this like really smart workaround to get a Amano Hashidate, what I mean, or like get a DDT. Like she does these really cool sequences, or she'll just be like, I'm gonna hit you with DDT. And that's it. And she's
Hmm.
hits her, what I mean, like I like how it's kind of big brain, small brain wrestling at the same time. It's a bit different than what everybody else is doing, which I think has been kind of the problem with a lot of wrestlers in Stardom as of late. 'Cause I
Hmm.
feel like a lot of people do a lot of the same things or do a lot of things all the time, frequently, nonstop. Whereas at least Miyu, it feels like she's finding new and unique ways to get the DDT. You know what I mean? At least there's that. At least like the how she gets to it is a bit different, even if it is all pretty much DDTs.
Yeah, I getcha. Is that all for the semis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We then got on to Saki Kashima, Suri, Itsuki Aoki, and Rin Yamashita beating Kikyo Furusawa, Kyoka Kotatsu, Maki Ito, and Rian in 5.5 minutes.
This is funny.
Um, yeah, it was just like a tight little 5-minute match where they did a little bit of action, but it was mainly like the character interactions. You know, people being bodyguards for Saki is funny, and I feel like putting that across from Maki Ito of all people is a
And a
great
group
visual.
of singers.
Yes.
Rian and Kotatsu both joined in doing the Brooklyn the Hole. Oh, that
Yeah,
was
they
really
all
cool.
got to do the "Who's the cutest in the world" thing until it was cut off for Maki doing it. It was like there
Yeah.
was some like fun character interactions here that made it stand out, and they didn't ask them to do too much, so I always
I'm
appreciate
coming
it.
around on Kotatsu. Um, I think she has a real
Yeah,
spot as a role player here because like this was fun. Like watching Rian like drag her out, drag her like, come on, we gotta do the song bit,
yeah,
and then Kotatsu kills it. She does every movement perfectly, and Rian's fucking fumbling the whole thing. I was like, that's great. Like Kotatsu being like, no, I don't want it, and then fucking nailing it 100%. That's awesome. That's hilarious.
it
Uh,
is.
like I thought that was a great, little character moment. I thought the whole thing, like you said, with the bodyguards, I thought that was fun as well. Um, I will say this match doesn't help the argument against my point that there should just not be factions anymore.
Well, keep that one in the holster. Don't worry.
Okay.
Um, we then got on to Fuachan, Bea Priestley, Momokogo, Saida, and Yuri Ahime beating Ane Kanaya, Sori Ano, Yuna Mizumori, Maika, and Xena in 10.5 minutes. This was mostly fine tag action, and then Fua like called out Soriano, and they took it up a
That was
level.
cool. Yeah.
And that as the focus kind of made it a good match. But the rest of it was just kind of standard tag team fare.
What the fuck happened to Micah, man? Like legitimately. Like I know,
Not know.
but like it's getting like she's just she doesn't exist anymore.
It
Like
is strange.
she exists as much as Xena, and Xena barely exists. Arguably, Xena exists more than her. At least she does chops.
Well, Xena's not even full time.
That's what I mean. Like that's why I'm like concerned. That it's like I remember what Xena has been doing more than Micah, and Xena doesn't wrestle that much. You know
Mm,
what I mean?
I don't know.
Like
Maybe she told them she's going to the dub. You know, now they're pissed off.
I mean, but I don't know, man. I'm just maybe she's going to Glate.
Maybe,
She'd fit in there.
possibly. I guess. But yeah,
That
Kikyo
was to
or
see
not
if Pep still listens to the show. Because if he does, he's gonna text me about that.
Kikyo. Okay. But yeah, Fuachan, still the MVP, still great.
Yes, yeah, no, that was also the thing was I was like, wow, Siriano gets priority theme song wise over Micah, and I realized it was because it's her and Fua, like that's kind of what they're doing, and also they were the best part of the match by far.
Hmm.
So I thought that was cool. Also, small note: Fua Chan finally teams with Stars, her old faction. When let me see, Hanan's not there. Interesting.
Yeah, who knows? Um, we then had Spark Rush, the team of Sari and Takumi Iroha beat Akira Kuragane and Suzu Suzuki of Mi Vida Loca in just under 11 minutes. I thought it was a very well worked match, but I do feel currently with Spark Rush and with Sari in particular, there's no focus, which I think always hurts Sari. Like
Yeah,
one of the strengths of bringing Sari in is she will make a feud interesting, and she'll cut her promos and she'll go to the media and she'll like build to a match. But currently, there's no focus for her for Yokohama at all. It almost feels like she's just here so that she's not working Marigold more often. That's literally
yeah,
what it feels like right now. Because like sure, her and Suzu have something, and I think she might have wrestled Akira in one of her Korakuen matches at one point. But like, there's not much to this, and like maybe they're gonna add to it, and Suzu will be against Sari in some form at
I
Yokohama, and maybe
doubt it.
like the Bozilla injury kind of sideline that a bit. But I was just kind of watching this like, yeah, Sari and Takumi beating up Akira is awesome, but what is the point? Like, where is this gonna go? So I think that hurt this more than anything. Of I was just like, yeah, sure, well worked match, but Sari is gonna need some kind of focus because that's you're really missing out on one of Sari's big strengths by not having her do anything of substance.
Uh, yeah, I don't know what the fuck is up with this because like I agree, like it's been months since Sari has like said anything about
Hmm.
Stardom. That's not normal. You know, like usually like there's something that she wants to do. You know, but it does just kind of feel like the agreement was we'll give you plenty of wrestlers for your anniversary show and you work here once a month, twice a month, and don't work for Marigold. Like that's what's felt like for the past, you know, and they aren't doing much otherwise. So, bit of a bummer because yeah, like this match was good. It was cool seeing Takumi. Like I like Spark Rush. It's fun to see them in Stardom. I think that's always a cool thing that happens sometimes. But I don't know. It was yeah, you know, I would like them or at least Sari to like do something
Yeah.
at some point.
Hopefully the stare down afterwards is kind of setting up something because I would like Rina Yamashita and Aoki against them. Maybe I think that would be awesome. So
Yeah.
let's get that done. But yeah, that was it was probably the best worked match of the show. Well, no, it wasn't the best worked
No,
match, but
that's
I
not
do
fair.
think it was let down by just not having anything of substance.
It was up there. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, look at who's involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, we then got on to the Future of Stardom Championship match. Rani Agami pulled off the upset to beat Hanako in just under 12 minutes. Quite the surprise result because I thought they
I was
would go to Aya. She's kind of been angling for like, hey, I'm gonna win it and vacate. So I'm kind of surprised that they did a switch before that.
I sense that we're gonna have Aya chasing Hanako for a while. Because yeah, I mean they told that story. I will say they told that story very well, where Rana was like, okay, I want to challenge Aya. She only has a couple months left, and Aya comes out crying. She's like, that bitch told me she was gonna win, so I could challenge her.
Mm,
I don't give a fuck about Rana. Like you know, like that was kind of the vibe, and I thought that was an interesting way to go about it because it did mean something. You know, that's something I always get kind of annoyed about in wrestling is when they do this, but without any like care. Like the best example is back when Rossi took the belt off of Kagetsu, gave it to B Priestoli, and everybody was like, "Wait, but Kagetsu just like challenged TCS. Like he was like, I want to fight all y'all for this belt again," and then he lost it to B. It's like, why did he even say that? Like, why? Like, because it just amounted to nothing. Uh, so I like that, you know, that happened, but Aya Sakura sold it. You know, like
mm,
I thought that was good enough for me. And I also have kind of um presented your opinion that like, oh, it needs to go to like it has to go to everybody in this class first. I think Rana uh kind of getting thrown a bone. You know, her and Saka Carrara are classmates, and Carrara is main eventing the biggest show, the second biggest show of the year. So Rana getting thrown a bone, getting the future belt for it might only be like a month. I might just win it off for all we know. I wouldn't be surprised. But or no, not even a month. It would be a week. Isn't that happening?
next week.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe Ronda just holds it for a fucking week and fuck you. But I think getting thrown a bone and getting that one up over Aya and Carrara being the first to hold a belt, um, not named Hanako, obviously, and Yuzuki. Uh, not like I think that's a good distinction for her, and I'm happy for her. I will say the match was fine.
Match was a
I
letdown. I feel like Hanako is a better wrestler now than she was when she showed up, but
mm,
she is less intelligent. This was not
oh yeah, by far.
like Rana.
Okay, that's fair. No, that's a fair
So
take because
it's
I think
yeah,
she's physically more capable
mhm,
of doing
yeah,
things,
for sure.
but I don't think she does them. Like that's my problem. I mean, I say this all the time. That's like I feel like she just is giving up on so many things she could be doing. Like there's so
Mhm.
much physically that she's able to do that she just doesn't do. So I think that's a fair take on.
Yeah, because I feel like Rana and Hanako should be the striker versus the powerhouse, and they end up just having a bog standard match, like the same match everybody else has. And I just feel like that is a real letdown because I know Rana can do that, like fighting from underneath with using her strikes kind of thing. I
Yeah.
know Hanako can dominate a match and like let her opponent in. She did it in her rookie year for a good bit. So them just kind of going for the most basic, unintelligent match possible really let me down because I feel like they both can do way better. So that was kind of what I came away from it going like thinking was just they didn't think at all. They didn't play around with the dynamic of who they are as wrestlers at all, and it was just very bland. So even though Rana hit a Brazilian kick of sorts to end the match, I was like, yeah, shrug, you know.
Yeah. I just like this match came and went for me. Like I rewatched like because I watched it. I kind of like started like getting a bit bored, so I like went on my phone, and then it just ended.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, and so I rewound it like 2 minutes, and I was like, oh no, it was just that. Yeah, it
Mhm.
wasn't like I like was like being too neglectful. I wasn't paying attention. They just kind of like tiptoed into the finish. The kick was good, obviously, from Rana, but I still thought that the match, while it was fine worked, like they didn't do poorly. I thought Hanako had a fairly all right performance relatively. Like I didn't think there was anything inherently wrong with it. I did think that just felt very incomplete and like nothing. Like it just didn't feel like they went the right direction with it, I guess. Um, Even if it was a fine match, all things considered.
Okay. I would like to say that I liked Rana's gear. I think the gold and the
Yes, I
black
did
is a
too.
great combo, and she uses it really well. I liked her entrance robe and everything. So, I think when she debuted all that, I was like, oh, she's probably gonna win. Um, but it was still nice to see because I like Rana. I think she's got the problem of not being super charismatic, obviously, but I think she does try and make up for that in her own ways. So, I'm rooting for her. Um, yeah, that was the future match. We then had a three-way 12-woman tag match. The Neo Genesis team of Azumi, Meisera, Starlight Kid, and Tabata beat the God's Eye team of Amisore, Hina, Lady C, and Tomoka Inaba, and the Hate team of Azusa Inaba, Fukigen Death, Natsuko Tora, and Rocca in 6 minutes. So this is gonna blink and you miss
Okay.
it
Yeah,
action.
no, I again, because this is the problem with podcasting, is that you start to feel like a guilt when you don't have anything to say about something.
Yeah,
And I watched this match and I was like, I don't I've got nothing. Like it just came and went and I was like yeah, I felt like I felt bad. Like I feel bad cuz I was like I don't know what the fuck happened. Like it just kind of,
it's
especially
ended.
because I like a lot of these wrestlers, like
Mhm.
like two teams, top to bottom, wrestlers I like. And then we have a lot of hate wrestlers that I like too. Like I like all of them individually in a way as well. So it's like I like everybody in this match, but it just I I got nothing from it.
Yeah. Yeah, like the finish was the only notable thing. Like this was an angle.
Yeah,
They did Azumi pinning Rocca, and afterwards BMI 2000 got up in her face. I think people assumed it was going to be Starbomb, but then afterwards it was clarified it might be O2 Line getting their rematch. So I
so they're
guess
winning the belts. Good for them.
yeah, and the Miu push for the semifinals actually paid off for something. So I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, that match was just kind of there for Azumi to get the win. It was well wrestled. The action was fun, but just nothing really to grasp onto there aside from the finish. Um, our next match then was for the CMLL Japan Women's Championship. India Sioux beat Hazuki in 15 minutes. I thought this was good, but I feel like if you've seen a lot of India singles matches, it maybe wasn't. But I think her offense is just interesting. Like she does a lot of weird stuff that I was like, hell yeah, that was cool. And Hazuki is Hazuki, so she could just carry her end of the match really well. But I did enjoy this just because I thought they both have good offense. But it wasn't like super smart pro wrestling and India Sioux. I feel like if you've seen her a lot, you probably are just like numb to her moves being cool. But yeah, as somebody who's a bit fresher, I was like, yeah, that's a good match.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool match, all things considered. Um, Hazuki dropping the CMLL belt was interesting. CMLL Japan belt. I I don't know. It's a belt that doesn't need to lead anywhere, but I kind of thought it was leading somewhere. Um, like a Hazuki return to Japan or a return to Mexico, or even though it's the Japan belt, um, or just something. But yeah, it just kind of came and went with with a whimper, so to speak. And yeah, I thought it was an interesting match, a well worked match, a fun match, but definitely not the best I've seen from Hazuki. And I haven't seen much of India, so like I thought it was like good, but I'm sure she has better in her as well to some degree.
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, have you seen much of India before?
No, no, I
No,
haven't
okay.
seen
So
very much.
you were also kind of like, why is she doing a power slam into an armbar? That's
Like
awesome.
I thought that was like, yeah, I thought
Yeah.
some of the moves were cool and like kind of like confusing, like you said. But cool all things considered. And I like a good power wrestler. I think it's always fun to kind of see someone just do the cool shit, so to speak, and do it in a smart way, an
Hmm.
interesting way, an intriguing way. But yeah, a lot of it I was just kind of like, wow, this is okay.
All right. We then got on to the Cinderella final. Hanan beat Rina in 22 minutes in what was essentially the unofficial main event, because the main event didn't even try and upstage this. Um, this ended up being a great match. It's Hanan and Rina. You kind of know what you're getting. I'm not as high on it as most people. I think it was very dumb jock wrestling to an extent. Like there was no flow really from the start. They just went at it. 10
I think
minutes
Rita
in,
versus
they were
Carrara was
doing
better.
it's insane, but okay. But like 10 minutes in, they did these no selling and they did dual one count kickouts, and everybody was confused. Like it didn't get the reaction they were going for. It looked awful and forced. It was like the worst parts of like Ospreyism just injecting itself
Then
into this
how
match.
am I crazy for saying the Carrara
Because
Rina
I
match was
think they
better?
stopped that. They did that really awful thing like 10 minutes in, and then by the end they kind of got back to selling properly. And I was like, okay, that's fine. It's whatever. If I can forgive Julia for it, I can forgive them for it. Um, but there was a point in this match where I was
Oh, I
ready to
don't
just be
forgive
like
Julia in it,
scorched
to be
earth.
fair.
I, I was ready to go scorched earth briefly, but I think by the end they kind of got back on track.
Yeah.
And it was a great match. I can't deny it was like back and forth, very dramatic action. But that 10-minute stretch just that almost killed me. So I'm a bit lower on it than the consensus.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. Second best match of the tournament, as I was alluding to. Um, I liked it a lot. There were some nitpicks, obviously. I think one thing is that I think Rena in tournament settings, I don't love, and I kind of alluded to this earlier off air, that I feel like Rena is somebody who has this stump issue, kind of similar to Konami. I said that last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever. Um, I feel like she has this thing where it's like she does all of her moves in the same order every match. It just is a matter of where the opponent fits their stuff
Mm.
in. Um, and I thought Hanan didn't have that issue at all. I feel like Hanan was actually throwing in some stuff she hasn't used every match. She uses once in a while, or stuff that she uses kind of in case of emergency. The option play, like it just felt like there was a lot more options for Hanan, and she like chose kind of interesting ones moveset wise. And I feel like Rena kind of has one very good match. Or that's a bit reductive. I think she has like 3 or 4 very good matches that she can do, and she just repeats them a lot. Um, and sometimes she doesn't. Like I said, I thought the Carrara match kind of broke her of that. I think certain wrestlers break her of that quite well, but this was one of those matches where I did kind of sense oh yeah, I've seen Rena kind of in all of these situations before. She reacts the exact same. and it kind of got a bit repetitive. It kind of checks me out a little bit. And again, it's like I know wrestlers have move sets. Like it's not a matter of like, oh, do new moves. It's like that's not. It's just it feels like there wasn't much more to this than any other arena match. And this is, her second tournament final ever. Like this is a big deal. It's her against her sister. Like I kind of wanted there to be a bit more passion in it, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Which there was to some degree, but that also kind of annoyed me because why are you letting her kick out of your fucking super finisher? Like that's the coolest thing ever. Why are you doing that? But those are my nitpicks. I thought this was a very, very good match. I thought Hanan did great. I did think Rena did great in what she was doing. Uh, Again, I said earlier that it's like I feel like Rena has the tendency of like it's hard for her to like have a bad singles match. Um, but like, sometimes she really breaks through that glass ceiling. I don't think this was it, but she was fucking banging up against it because she was doing really good work here. And yeah, I mean, obviously they mesh well together. They've been together since the day Rena was born, so that's got to count for something. And yeah, no, I thought it was a very, very fun match. I have the Crier one ahead of it, but it was a good way for Hanan to win the tournament. I think that was necessary. I think Hanan needed like a very good match to, conclude her tournament to make her look, you know, back and primed for world championship contention or Wonder Championship contention in this case. I thought this was the match that she needed. Even with my nitpicks, I think this is a all around success for both women.
Okay. Um, yeah, so Hanan winning was kind of the predictable result. I think that kind of maybe took me out of the stretch as well, because like there was a very small chance Reno was going to get another shot at Konami, and there was a very, very, very small chance she was going to challenge Saya. So I think Hanan winning was the predictable but correct decision here, because she's obviously, somebody they've been priming to be a main eventer for over a year now. It's kind of time to make that switch and see if you can add another, drawing member to your roster, because you've got Kid, you've got BMI, you've got Konami, you've got Saya. Can you now add Hanan to that kind of repertoire of people who are going to draw a number on top? So I think it's time to go for that. So, glad to see her win. And we'll talk about the angle after, I guess, because we got to do Saya lore first. So the official main event of the show was Natsupoi and Sayaka Kurara beating Konami and Saya Kamitani in just under 13 minutes. Kurara pinned Saya, unsurprisingly, with the Violet Screwdriver variant, where she just domed Saya like crazy in 13 minutes. I like that they went for a more story heavy approach, because you were never going to outdo Hanan Rina without going like 30 and just fully forcing it. So they just went, okay, we're going to build a match around Kurara. She's going to fend off Konami. She's going to fend off Kamitani. She's going to get the win. It's going to, neat, tidy 13-minute tag match. I really like that approach. I thought the wrestling was pretty good. These wrestlers can do preview tags in their sleep. And I think they held back a lot of Kamitani Kurara. Like they didn't show their hand as much as I was kind of expecting. So they just told a simple story, wrestled it well, and set themselves up for the 2 show closing angles. So I liked what they did here. I don't think every main event needs to be the big long epic. And if your semi main event does that, then your main event can just focus on your storytelling.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match, bit uneventful. Uh, yeah, I didn't particularly miss watching Saya in these matches. Uh, Kasaya has two speeds. Um, they're fairly similar, but she has her tag match speed and her main event match speed, and her tag match speed is just basically the main event match stuff, but without like the intrigue, I guess. Um, and so that was a bit, I thought that it was well worked. They did solid stuff. Uh, Natsupoi was a lot of fun. Like I have been saying, I really like Carrara. I think she does a lot of good work, puts in a lot of effort, and I appreciate it. But yeah, I didn't think it was anything to write home about. I did love the violent screwdriver. That was awesome. Shout out Carrara. You go girl. Yeah.
Okay. Um, that set us up for the post match angle where Sayaka Kurara said that she will put Cosmic Angels on the line to get her World of Stardom Championship match. Now, I would question the logic of her winning and then asking and putting the
Yeah,
faction
that's
on the
why I
line.
was fucking confused actually when I actually watched it. I was like, "Bro, you just pinned her."
Yeah, this is what we do. So I was like, okay, sure. The thing with her putting Cosmic Angels on the line is it's clearly meant to be this like big deal. And I guess in some ways it is. Like it is a big deal. But we've kind of talked about this for a while that the babyface factions are largely just doing whatever they want. Like on this very show, Soriano and Yuna Mizumori teamed with Maika, Xena, and Ane Kanaya. On this very show, God's Eye teamed with Mi Vida Loca. Maki Ito teamed with a bunch of unaffiliateds. Like, you can get rid of Cosmic Angels and you can be like, okay, yeah, that's a big deal because it's Cosmic Angels. But will it really change anything for the week to week shows when factions are already mixed and matched? You know?
Just gonna make people mad at Kurara. That's about it. Kurara probably will cry a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can see
no,
where I'm
nothing.
coming from, right? Like
Yes, 100%.
the factions are already like the babyface factions at least are already just a mix and match of people. So does like would Cosmic Angels going away be that big a deal? Who knows?
Um, yeah, no, I don't think so. Like, that's my thing is that it's like, I don't know, what is Cosmic Angels anymore? Um, no disrespect to her, and this might be, too, excuse me, too early to call, but Natsupoi seems like she's kind of winding down. Um, Other than that, like, what is Cosmic Angels?
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, Unimon tagged with a non-Cosmic Angel for Tag League last year. Aya and Carrara are a very good tag team, but most would argue are a better feud, a better rivalry, or could be. I think plenty of people wouldn't mind seeing them apart so that Aya can advance more wholeheartedly, like more aggressively to try to keep up with Carrara. I think she's kind of in her shadow a little bit at times. Soriano could literally tag with anybody and it'd be cool.
hmm
Like it's not like her and Natsupoi, like I said, her and Natsupoi are like cosmic angels, but Natsupoi's slowing down and Soriano seems poised to kind of just do her own thing anyway. Like I feel like that's a better lane for her at this point. If they aren't going all in on Natsupoi and Soriano as a team, like if they aren't giving them like the tag belts or something, giving them like a big tag, uh program of some sort. Cosmic Angels doesn't really exist. I think I'm forgetting some. No, that's Cosmic Angels. Yeah, like it don't it don't matter. Like I don't know. People talk about it a lot, and I get kind of confused because people um insist that it's still the case. But like the beauty of like a great faction has a philosophy,
mm
and I think Hate has one. I don't particularly like it, but Hate has one. I don't think any of the other ones do
Yeah.
anymore. Like even God's Eye, which like I started to understand and I still like as a group, doesn't really have a philosophy anymore. You know what I mean? Like at one point I was like, "Oh, this is like Shuri's fight team." You know what I mean? Like obviously it's always easy to, "Oh, the UFC fighter, the MMA fighter has has a fight team or whatever." Like but at least that made sense to me. Like it's like, "Oh, these are the people that she trusts the most to train with." Or that she just wants to help get better. Like that's fair enough. But at this point, I don't even feel that with God's Eye.
hmm
Like that, like I'm feeling that less and less. Like it doesn't feel like you know, like these are wrestlers who are training together to get better. Um, like that doesn't. come across as much. Neo Genesis is just fuck the olds, I guess, but they aren't even fuck the olds. Like they're just friends. Like they're just Starlight Kid wants to hang out with her friends, and so her friends are in the same faction. Um, and Mivi to Loka, I mean, dude, like they're bodyguards now, I guess. Like I know that's like reductive, but like going all the way around to Cosmic Angels. Cosmic Angels doesn't exist anymore. Like Cosmic Angels is like the cutesy group, I guess, but Soriano isn't particularly cutesy. Unimon is very adamant about like being kind of anti cutesy, but being still cutesy. The most Cosmic Angels wrestler in the company is Maki Ito, and she's not in the group.
Hmm.
So why are we still doing it? I guess Sakakura is also like, very clearly Cosmic Angels. I think that's why it's actually for the best that she loses it. Like she's the reason why it ends because
Yeah.
I think she is like kind of the soul of Cosmic Angels. Like she's the only wrestler who I who I think like funnily enough, she's the only wrestler who I look at and I'm just like, without Cosmic Angels, she's kind of cooked. Like she is not in as good a shape without Cosmic Angels. Uh Everybody else I think would probably be better off or just as well off or is going to retire soon or whatever. Is taking a back seat doesn't really matter. I think Carrara is the only wrestler who I'm like, oh, without the branding of Cosmic Angels, I feel like life's going to get harder for her. You know? So I think it's smart that she's the wrestler doing it because it does feel more personal to her, uh, in terms of like you know placement. But yeah, I don't know why we're still doing factions, frankly,
Yeah.
or at least hard factions. I mean, like I'm loving the Ito Respect Army stuff, honestly. Like I think like Ito tagging with someone, forcing them to wear a fucking shirt, uh, having one little disciple who's just obsessed with her, and then like being like, okay, now do the fucking dance. Like, Rian gets into it, but certain wrestlers don't. Like Hazuki's like, fuck you, I'll kill you if you tell me to do a goddamn dance. Like, I think that's fun. I think like the soft faction works in that regard. I don't
Yeah.
know if hard factions work anymore.
Well, they can, but they just don't book them. Like
That's what
they've
I
been
mean.
saying
Like,
for
there's no.
ages. Like the baby faces will just team together for no reason, and you're like, that's fine. But then when you do Cosmic Angels on the line, they could all just team together for the next like 2 months,
I
regardless.
mean,
You know
and
what I
this
mean?
is all an indictment on the XV story, frankly.
Yeah.
Because like that has made it so that this doesn't matter.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because like really, it's like if that didn't happen, if EXV was still just a thing that was just kicking the ball down the road, I think this would be like a bit more like, oh, okay, like this is this might be a big deal. But EXV broke up and they still just tag together every week.
Yeah.
Like what? It doesn't
Like we're
matter.
supposed to care now. We're supposed to care now that they're gonna break up when they could all just team together anyway, the same way
That's
EXP
what I
does.
mean. Like
And
it just doesn't.
so yeah, I feel like if when you say it aloud, like oh, Cosmic Angels will disband if she loses, you're like oh, that's a big step. But then I feel like the more you think about it, the more you're like actually that doesn't have much impact on anything other than being more Tam lore. And no offense to Tam, she's been gone for a year. your your storyline cannot be Saya wants to destroy the last vestige of Tam. She's gone. Move like do something new with Saya. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna try and sell it maybe a little bit better as like Kamitani wants to destroy Tam's whole thing. But to me, it's like Tam's been gone for a year. You gotta
I also
eventually get
yeah.
people to care about Karara independent of Tam. So
I also think that they've done it to the point where it's like I don't think they could even do a draft, which is always like kind of Rossi invented that, did it twice, and it still feels like oh that was a really cool concept.
yeah,
Um, but I don't think they could do that anymore because it don't feel like anybody wants to be a leader.
to an
Like there are
extent.
no leaders in Stardom in any of the factions outside God's Eye.
Well, that's
Shuri
because
is
people just get pinned ad nauseum.
like yeah,
Like
but
faction
dude,
leaders used to be protected. I remember like Momo and Kagetsu would barely ever lose, and that was
yeah.
why they were leader.
And I mean that's why like there was such a big energy around the you know 5-person match where the
Hmm.
loser the loser lost their faction, lost their leadership. The leadership of their faction. That was like such a big thing because it's like these are five wrestlers who like matter, or in the first one, these are three wrestlers who clearly matter, um, who have such a strong position of strength that's like them losing, like, especially in the second one because the first one didn't have a loser disband stip. Second one did. Um, like that makes it so much more volatile and it makes it so much more interesting. Like th- there aren't really like I don't know. I feel like it is like that kind of issue where it's like I don't I don't even know how you would like rehab the faction setup without like with Cosmic Angels dying. Like
Mm.
if you want to kill Cosmic Angels and you want to like kind of start anew with factions, I don't know how you would do it. I think New
I
Japan's
fear,
having a similar problem.
yeah, I fear
Um
they're gonna go for the babyface army route, and it's just gonna be like Micah, Pereira, and the assorted baby faces rather than strict
yeah.
factions. And the factions will just be kind of like whenever they want to have somebody do stuff.
Yeah, I mean I guess like I guess Neo Genesis would become like Great Bash Heel where
Mm,
it's like or they'd probably be more like Chaos because it's like, be like a part of the Hantai but like
yeah,
separate. Uh yeah, I don't know, like it just feels like a strange.
it does. But
I feel like they gotta share or get off the pot with the factions. That's my
yeah,
take.
for sure. As I just feel like a lot of like negatives have come together here to make me kind of go, yeah, I don't care if Cosmic Angels goes away. So the big stipulation for your world title match doesn't really feel as weightful to me.
To be fair, I've
Um,
always fucking hated Cosmic Angels, so I don't give a fuck if they go away.
that's
Let
fair.
me also preface that.
Um,
This is different than like, Oedo Tai. It's like, oh, like I don't really like them anymore, but like historically, like they mean a lot to me. It's like I don't historically Cosmic Angels has been a pain in my fucking ass this whole time. Um, so like, yeah, go ahead. Kill it. It's fine. I'll be more upset that Sai is winning than that Cosmic Angels is dying.
yeah, that's a good point. um, but the show then closed with the real star Konami interrupting the dress ceremony to beat up Hanan, spray paint her face, and then laugh evilly as the show went off air, which was kind of badass. I won't lie to you. I love the visual of the heel just like laughing to herself as the show ends. Um, and it was an effective angle to continue the Konami Hanan thing, kind of set them back on a good.
They put Hanan in blackface on the cover of Shupro.
Yeah, that was definitely a choice. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm everybody knows I'm kind of over Konami. Uh it is funny how like Konami is the best booked heel. Not even best booked, but like the most protected, strongest heel in like Stardom history at this point. Like
Mm,
true heel. You know what I mean? Because like Kagetsu, it's like yeah, he was well booked for a while. And there have been well booked heels, obviously, but like Konami doesn't look weak like ever.
good.
Why Konami in 2026?
Well, it's better than nobody. I feel like when I see Kamitani taking a pinfall to Carrara for like the sixth time, I'm like, maybe it's good that Konami is protected. She feels like an actual mountain to climb and not a lore thing.
I suppose. I
Yeah,
don't know. Like
it's different approaches. I like it.
yeah. I mean, she's made to look strong, and
Hmm.
if you like Konami, it's obviously a big positive for you.
Okay. But that was Stardom. It was an interesting show. They kind of did what they wanted to do and set up the big stuff for Yokohama. And also they set up the zoomed goddess star title switch. So that can be the first kind of what you call it. That can be the first drop to fall of hate losing the three belts they have. Because that's kind of what we need. Is hate finally losing out on some of the belts. Um, but yeah, that's all for Stardom because the show to preview, I think, is just the New Blood. And there's only one match announced for that. So I don't think there's much point in previewing one match next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're at the boat race thing this weekend. And Sariism is this weekend? I did not know
Oh,
Sariism was that soon.
is it? Oh, damn. I didn't either.
The 22nd of March, yeah. So
Wow.
that's fun. So Stardom is involved in that. They have some cool matches. I guess we can run it down. Actually, they're involved in every match, are they?
A lot of them.
Yes, yeah. Because it's Kikyo versus the pink girl. Is that Celine? Celine?
Celine is the pink girl, yes.
Okay, yeah. Venny versus Hanako, which was meant to be Venny versus Megan, or not Megan Main, Ozilla.
Ozilla.
Fuwa-chan is teaming with Shinobu Kandori and Yumiko Hoda to take on Takako Inoue, Jagore Hikota, and Senka Akatsuki. That is still the funniest match ever. That is awesome. Natsupoi is taking on Kuro Ito in Dylan's match of the year.
Hell yeah.
And Spark Rush take on Suri and Chihiro Hashimoto in the main event of that one. So a lot to look forward to if you're a
It's
Stardom
crazy.
fan.
There's one, maybe two matches that don't have a star wrestler in it.
Yeah. They announced one today. I think Kurishio is on the card now too.
Yes. Big dog.
Right.
I fuck with that guy now. I can't lie. I'm
He
fucking with
seems
you.
really chill. You know?
Yeah, I like him. I mean, he just seems like. I mean, yeah, he seems like the type of guy who, I mean, if Tommy co-signs you, you can't be too bad. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that's all for Stardom. We will be back next week, and we'll talk about the Ayasakura Rana match and whatever happens on New Blood, and then we will look ahead to whatever shows are the next week. I don't know what those are. So, with that, it is time to get on to the Marigold portion of the show. We're going to go straight into the review. On the 14th of March, Marigold ran Korakuen Hall and did an attendance of 758. Not a lot to say on that number. I think it's a good number.
you said 700.
700, yeah,
Yeah,
758.
that's a very good number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's a big win for the 3D belts that they can main event and do 700 when like the Twin Star match is a clear B tier Twin Star match. Like Koki and Miku were never going to win those belts.
Yeah, I mean this card, as much as like I liked it on paper, we both liked it on paper. It's not like a come out to the show
Mm,
show, so to speak. Like, 'cause it's like, what are you coming out for, really? Like, there's like it's just not that type of show.
yeah,
So I thought that they did well enough for this, and I liked the show they put on. I will say it was very quiet. I think
yeah,
that was the one problem. And I've heard loud Korakuens with sub 800 people. I like it could be good. I mean, I heard it on the show. The Megaton match was some of the loudest fucking, like, that was a loud ass fucking match. Um, but otherwise, I felt like people were a bit subdued, which did take did didn't sit super right with me. It was a bit of a bummer.
okay. I agree. They were kind of bad, but we'll talk about them. Um, in our opener, Yuki Yamazaki defeated the debuting Lady AI in 7.5 minutes. It has been explained that her name is Lady AI because she likes cyber stuff and like
Yeah.
tech. So she's
She
Lady
wears the
AI.
mask because she fucks with Big Doki.
Oh yeah, she does. Yeah. Um, so this was a solid match. Lady AI is a very interesting wrestler because she's kind of this mix of contradictions. She like screams a lot and like waves her arms to emote and like show a baby face fire, but then she wears a mask, so you can't see the emoting, which I think is one of the biggest contradictions. Like she is doing the most and then covering her face, so you cannot see the struggle, which I think is an interesting thing. Um, she also here had to play kind of the like power taller wrestler, but had to like sell for Yamazaki. So she'd be like leaning down to do shoulder blocks and have to pretend she wasn't overpowering this tiny gremlin. Um, so she was in a weird spot. I think she looked good. If you can just make a career of showing that kind of babyface energy, she'll do fine. Um, But yeah, just kind of a weird one because I was like, I like the look, I like the mask, but for the wrestler that you are, you maybe should ditch the mask.
I don't know. I like it. I think it'll be probably beneficial long term. You look at I think the best example is El Generico, that of like someone who started without a mask, wasn't very like physically charismatic, didn't really like, you know, enunciate himself in terms of like, his body language wasn't that strong. It was sometimes, but I'm talking about old Sami Zayn clips here at this point. Like 2001 Stephen McFly clips. And so he puts on a mask, whatever. It works so well that he becomes one of the most like dynamic sellers and just bumpers and everything. Just like has so much great body language ability to the point where it's like now he's one of the best baby faces in the world. I think that it could be a hindrance, but I think if you force yourself to become good at it, you can become great. You know what I mean? So I think that's a benefit. And yeah, it is interesting because it's the sort of mask where it is a bit more obstructed, which is funny because it's a half mask. But like you look at like Starlight Kid, right, who wears a full
Mhm.
mask. It's a normal mask with the eyes and the mouth holes and whatnot. She can emote very easily,
Mm.
within the mask. But for whatever reason, it's like it's really hard to emote without your mouth.
Mhm.
Frankly, like without your mouth and your nose, even though your eyes are the most expressive part of your face generally. So, yeah, it'll be hard. It'll be harder for her, but I am interested in moving forward, her becoming hopefully better at like just kind of conveying herself with that mask on, and it could make her even better in the long term.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see her more. I think this match definitely gave people a weird impression of her because she looked like a giant against Yuka, and then the next day against Now, you're like, oh, she's like a normal sized
She's a
human.
normal, yeah. Yuka's
Yeah,
just
Yuka
deceptively
is
small.
just that tiny. Yeah, so I was like, oh, she's so tall. Why is she a baby face? But she'll be like a normal sized wrestler, so it's fine. Um, we then got on to Nagisa Tachibana beating Hummingbird and Shino in just under 6 minutes. People really liked Tachibana's performance in this one, randomly. I thought it was fine. These like second from the bottom three-way matches are always just kind of there.
Yeah, I liked this. I thought it was a fun time. Um,
I guess it's nice to see Shino doing more stuff. She's never gonna improve unless she's like just thrown into different scenarios.
yeah, for sure.
She cannot just work big tags all the time.
Yeah, and I thought that just generally everybody did well. I
Yeah.
thought it was a fun one, all things considered. Yeah,
Okay.
I thought I had
Um,
more to say about it, but I did not.
no. Seria Mioka beat Rei Seto in 10.5 minutes in our next match. It was a very good match, as
Yes.
most people would have expected. Some cool ground stuff, maybe not as much as people would have hoped. But when they weren't doing the ground stuff, they were kind of teeing off on one another, did some big moves. Just a nice 10-minute match. They didn't do too much. They just stuck to what they know. Um, Probably a bit too much Rhea beating on Seri, but I suppose Seri is good at selling, so you might as well keep her doing that until you're ready to elevate her properly, and then she can start mauling people.
Yeah, and Rhea wasn't gonna get much out of this. Like it wasn't like it was super back and forth. Like by the end, Rhea just kind of got trounced. So
Yes.
I think they did the right move of kind of giving Rhea the upper hand early. Also, Rhea just going into the match looked a lot more intense, looked a lot more confident. She
Mm.
looked really in control, just like mentally, which I think was like a really cool look on her. Frankly, like we haven't really gotten that because she is still getting used to not being kind of the awkward girl. Um, just personality wise, not even like in terms of like how she moves or anything. She just is a bit awkward, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But I think this was the first time where I really saw her, and it felt like she was completely locked in, very, like cold, calculated type of look to her. I thought that aided in kind of presenting her as a bit more of the dominant, aggressive heel force in this match, even if it didn't have as much of the like kind of I think one thing about Rhea Seto's game that's really fun is kind of the messiness almost. Uh, in that it's like she is going to like throw herself into your leg just to make it hurt, sort of thing. And I think this match she was a bit more calculated, a bit more not slow, but a bit more like uh, you know took her time a bit more, and it did take away a little bit of kind of that like you know Chihuahua aggression that she likes to show. Uh, and that's true because she loves Chihuahua. She dresses as a Chihuahua for um, Mass Fiesta and everything. So I think it kind of took away a little bit of that, but I still thought the match was very good. I loved what Sarah was able to do here as well. I thought it was cool.
Okay, well,
Well worth checking out. Going out of your way to watch.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, probably the second best match of the show, depending on your.
Yeah, depending on your
Yeah.
preference.
Our next match was Angel Hayze and Maddy Morgan beating Chika Goto and Naoshikawa in 6.5 minutes. Maddy Morgan notably got the win for her team with a moonsault, a standing moonsault. Once I saw that Maddy was like a head taller than Angel, I was like, okay, yeah, she's getting pushed. I thought this was a good introduction for Hayes and Morgan. I was actually quite surprised by Morgan. She wrestled a very different style to what I saw on her indie clips. Like she was scaled it down a lot more sticking to the basics, a lot more physical. She is still obviously a stellar athlete. You saw that with the moonsault, but she's kind of saving the athletic stuff for the key spots and is just being a normal wrestler for the rest of it. Also, her selling was really good. She was locking an ankle lock at one point and looked like she was about to cry. Awesome stuff. And yeah, I thought Hayes looked solid as I expected. She looked better the next day, which we'll review. But yeah, I think they're two neat additions to the cards. They're a lot better than I think some of the other foreign talents were when they first showed up.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. This was definitely a better match than the first Zeta Mila
Yes.
tag with Nozaki and Mai. That was a rough one. So yeah, in terms of, and I mean, it's better than Tank.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're off to a decent start, better start than most would ask for.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like Hayes and Morgan are a tag team. They have
Yes,
matching gear, which I think is
they
interesting.
do.
Yeah, I thought they would be good as singles wrestlers, but I guess they're gonna build them up for a twin star match. Um, we then got on to the Syoko Kashino 7 match trial series. Utami Hayashishita beat Syoko Kashino in 8.5 minutes. That was a nice little match. People are too hard on Syoko, is kind of my thing. Her
Yeah,
offense looks good. Like she hit like a discus lariat at one point, or not, the ripcord lariat. I was like, that looked good. Like her offense always looks good. You can tell she's putting a lot into the moves that she does. And I think they kept it short and they just let Utami beat on her, which is good. She got to show a lot of fire and a lot of heart, and like it did kind of make her look quite sympathetic and let her show that she's serious about all this wrestling business. So, like, I thought this did what you wanted it to do when you booked it. Not you specifically, obviously, Ross.
me.
um, but yeah, I just feel like they did what they wanted to do, and Sioko tried her best, and I really feel like people need to lay off her just a small bit.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a fun match. I didn't think it was anything insane, but I do generally agree that Shioko gets a lot of crap for very minimal reason. I think she's completely fine. Um, I think she can shine in the best moments and the bright moments. Uh, and I thought this was a moment where it was a lot of fun to kind of see them go back and forth, I guess. I think this was a rare moment where I felt like Utami was like, "Nah, I'm beating you up. I'm not gonna give you too much. I'm gonna take what's mine here." And I don't blame her. Like I think this was a match that you could do that, especially because it was the one that was built like that. That was the point. Like Utami challenged her to a match, or Shioko challenged Utami to a match, and then turned into a series. But this was like the defining match, like the point, like the match that started the series. Even though she had the Miku match, but I digress. Um, we didn't review that, did we? I
No, we
didn't
didn't
watch
get
it. Yeah.
that went
Oh,
up
yeah, 'cause
Thursday.
oh, yeah, that happened, like, fucking Sunday, and it went up, like, Thursday. Okay, that makes more sense. I forgot for a second. Um, yeah, it was a good match. I liked it.
Yeah. Okay. Our next match was for the independent junior heavyweight title. Megaton beat Tokyo Kuroshio Japan in 9.5 minutes to win her first ever match and claim the title. This was great in many ways. Does Kurishio always do a fake out entrance and come back?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no,
'Cause
no, he doesn't always leave the like he doesn't always go backstage.
okay, yeah, because
But
when he
sometimes he
did
just
that,
kind of like
that was
disappears and then comes back. But that, yeah, that was a bit of an extra.
yeah, that was pretty funny. Like the match itself obviously wasn't like a 5-star classic, but they very quickly settled into the roles of him kind of jawing at the crowd the entire time and like being an asshole, and Megaton just having to play the the baby face and kick out of his moves and try and steal the win. Like it was a very simple setup, but it worked for both of them, and it worked because the crowd is that into Megaton. Like everything he was doing was getting boos. Um, and when she got the pin, I thought they did kind of well to have a number of roll ups not work, and then she had to adjust to their different form to actually get the win. And the crowd kind of reacted in kind. They were very shocked and they popped. And it was just really nice to see. Like Megaton has been one of the real feel good stories of Marigold. You kind of talked about her behind the scenes kind of reasonings for wrestling before, and it really makes you want her to do well. But on screen, she's always an interesting character. She's somebody who you actually care about. She is not just good wrestler number 87. She is an individual who stands out on every show. And she plays her character and she plays it well. And she got to be the lovable loser. And seeing her get her first win and get a title was a really nice moment for people who have watched her grow from being a heel alien invader. Um, and the roster clearly was very happy for her. They were all in tears, seconding. It was a really nice moment for everybody, and just kind of one of the first big like undercard feel good pops I think Marigold has got in their existence.
Yeah, it was awesome. This match was so funny because it was going on for so long. Like Megaton was getting kicked in the head. She got kicked in the head maybe 25 times. I was like, dude, just pin her. Like, Jesus Christ, this is insane. Um, but it was always fun because it's like every time she'd kick out, you'd be kind of like, holy shit, she actually kicked out. And then obviously, like her getting the roll up win was so much fun. Uh, I watched it. I watched the show with Scott, and I had to make him rewind a couple times so I could see everybody's reaction in the background. Cause you see like Shino like jump out of her, like she jumps. Like Tachibana was freaking out. Sari and Hummingbird on camera start crying after a minute. Um, it was just a beautiful, like, it was just a beautiful moment. It was so much fun. Such an electric crowd too for this match in particular. It was a really fun match. I really liked it. I thought Jiro did a great job ultimately of fulfilling his role as kind of just like somebody who like he was clearly better at wrestling, and that wasn't that's fine, but he didn't win, and that's what mattered. And it was like it was just really well done. It would have been rough if it went this long and then Gio still won. Because I was like, okay, this is going a long fucking time. We can wrap it up now. Because he just kept kicking her. He kept hitting the same fucking pose and kick, and I was like, dude, leave her alone. Jesus Christ. But I thought that, in hindsight, all of the buildup was well worth it for the finish. I thought it was really, really fun and really cool. I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
Shout out to Megaton. For
yeah.
singles champion before Sari Yamioka, before Senka Akatsuki, before Manami, before most wrestlers at this
Mm,
point.
that's a good point. It's very true.
Ain't that something?
Deserved too. Yeah, this
Yeah.
was this is why we watched. This
Singles
was
wrestler before Misa Matsui?
yeah, yeah. Um,
This motherfucker been around since 2018.
that's crazy. But yeah, I feel like stuff like this is like we obviously we harp on about it so much. Bad. so many megatons. It's characters that you wanted to root for, and that's been the one thing that I've wanted a lot more from Marigold is like people who are a little bit different and you just have a reason to give a shit about them. And I feel like Megaton has given us that. And it really made some of the rest of the matches and some of the rest of the wrestlers look kind of bland in comparison. Because there was a debate today about who should win the Superfly belt. And I was like, it doesn't matter. You're debating whether you want a 6.8 out of 10 match or a 6.5 out of 10 match. You know, like it, I have very little reason to care about whether Komomo is the next Superfly champion or Rhea is the next Superfly champion. You know what I mean? I haven't been given a reason to really care about either of those women beyond them just being talented. And I feel like with Megaton, I actively gave a shit. Like I actively wanted her to win, which isn't something I could say for a lot of people in this company right now, except like Mika Ono, who I just think is exceptional, or maybe Seri if she was to challenge for the world title. Um, but I just feel like this match made me realize that this is one ingredient missing from Marigold currently, and I don't know how they get that. Like I don't know how you make 5 more megatons. You know what I mean? Um, so I don't know. I was watching this and I was like, yeah, this is the secret sauce. That is just like would make this company that much better. But yeah, well, we'll take what we can get. And you know what? Shout out to Kurashio. A lot of men would not take this kind of pinfall. A lot of male wrestlers in Japan, if you were to be like, hey, we have this jobber who's never won, we want her to beat you for a title, they would literally laugh you out of the room. So I have a lot of respect for him for actually doing business here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to him.
Um, but then we crash back down to reality for the Marigold Twin Star title match. Darkest Revolution team of Chiaki and Misa Matsui beat Koki Amare and Miko Ono in just under 18 minutes. This was like good, but it was not the pairing that most people would have guessed would carry the match. It was a lot of Chiaki Koki. They finished with Chiaki Koki. And I was like, Miko Ono and Misa Matsui are in this ring and in this match. And you want me to watch Chiaki and Koki? Um, so like there was some good bits in it. You know, there was some good Miku and Chiaki exchanges, obviously building off of their match from last month. There was a small bit of Misa and Iono, but a lot of it was the less interesting pairing of Chiaki and Koki, and so like it was good, but it could have been so much better.
Yeah, I think this was kind of a thank you to Chiaki for stepping up to the occasion against Miku in a way in a way that I don't think was expected. Um, last month,
Mhm.
yeah, last month. Um, yeah, like so I think that was probably a lot of it was that they were like, well, Chiaki obviously isn't gonna win a singles belt or anything like that, but let's give her like a you know, give her the defense record. Excuse me. Give her the defense record, make her look strong, have her win the match, for the team, all these things. So I get why they ended up going that direction because I would imagine it was like, you know what, good job, Chiaki, you rose to the occasion much more than expected. But yeah, I do think that like Misa and Koki work really well together. You could have easily done mostly that, and Chiaki and Miku work tremendously together, as has been proven. I just don't think Chiaki and Koki work quite as well together. Thought they had some cool stuff. I thought that like it wasn't bad. I thought they, you know, they got through it all right. But I think some of just the timing. I think Chiaki and Koki are uh uniquely have a difficulty with timing sometimes. And so I don't think either of them could kind of save it when one of them fell off time, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Because I don't think either of them are bad. Like I think they're both pretty solid workers, pretty fun wrestlers. But I do think that like they need somebody who can kind of like get things back on course when just kind of things get timed out a bit weird when the crowd kind of gets lost. I remember there was one point. Also, this crowd was kind of like just waiting to get lost. I guess if I'm gonna be completely honest, because at one point Chiaki went for a pinfall on Koki and Koki didn't kick out because she was waiting for Miku, who was a second late, and the ref was a second early. And it was just it was off by like a half a second. Wasn't that big of a deal, but the crowd completely died. Like they buried it. They just fucking were just like, nope, you guys fucked up. Fuck y'all. And they were
Yeah.
silent for a minute afterwards. And I'm just like, that what the fuck just that? Like it wasn't that big of a miss. Like it was like, oh, that's that was a bit sloppy. But like that was it. But the crowd did not like refuse to get back into it. And I was like, damn, that's rough. Um so yeah, I thought it was a solid match. It was nothing like nothing to write home about. I thought that it was cool for Chiaki to get the win. Thought Misa looked good, as she often does when she's in like matches, like actual matches that matter. Um, but yeah, it was kind of it had problems, and I think the problems were ignorable if the crowd was willing to ignore them, but they were not.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like it was the weakest pairing to go for in a match like this.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't think the crowd cares enough about Koki to like put her against somebody like Chiaki.
Yeah.
They like it's another case of like why would anybody root for Koki? You know, um, so I feel like what even any heel work they tried to do there just didn't really work. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It was a bit of a misfire. The Twin Star reign has been kind of weird. I feel like they've been given a lot of like unsalvageable situations and just kind of been asked to do their best with Matsui
Yeah.
not getting as much ring time as you might think against like the elite wrestlers, which is weird. But, we're here. They are the tag aces, I guess, technically. Or at least Chiaki is. Um, and yeah, no challenge for Iono. So she
Well,
is
yeah.
the world
There really
champion
shouldn't
once again,
be.
not doing anything.
I mean, they don't have like a show in
I know.
Tokyo again for like
Yeah,
a month,
you're
like a
right.
full month.
They have the Sapporo splits. I thought they might do something in Sapporo or something.
That's a white belt territory. They don't
That's
do
true.
red
That's true.
belt matches there.
Um,
Plus, now they have enough belts, they don't have to even do that.
yeah, I suppose. Speaking of the belts, though, we main evented with the Marigold 3D Trios titles. Arina Yamanaka, Mai Sakurai, and Atsumi Suzuki beat Kamon Manami, Maya Iwatani, and Victoria Yuzuki in 13 minutes. Shozuki got the win for her team in this one to set herself up for a title match. This is another very good 3D title match.
That was awesome.
These are very good, very well paced trios matches. They're exactly what we wanted from these belts. Ayu knows exactly how to wrestle a match like these. That's just saying something. And yeah, the champion trio are just they're so good together, and they're so good as individuals that they make the matches worthwhile.
Yeah, I thought the match was fucking awesome. Uh, I was legit like, if there was ever a match that was going to like produce heat backstage at Marigold, it was this one because those motherfuckers were fucking beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Like they were just going all out, and it was awesome. I loved it. They beat the fuck out of Kamon Minami. Like that was the thing. Lavi and Rose, for living life in rose tinted glasses, those motherfuckers were fucking mugging these women. They were beating them down bad, like crazy. Yuzuki didn't even tag in. She was scared. Like that's where we were at. Like Komomo and Mayu got the shit kicked out of them. It was awesome. Like it was so sick because Shozuki was just like, you know what? No, I'm beating the fuck out of y'all. My Sakurai was like, oh, like dude, them champs, man, they are something else. They were beating the fuck out of Icon Academy, and I was here for it.
Mm.
Um, Hakomomo did a great job kind of taking the beating. But Mayu did a good job on like the rebound and whatnot. And Yuzuki, she got in there briefly, I think, with my Sakurai. It was fun, but I think Yuzuki was probably the sixth woman in this match because she just didn't really get involved too much. Um, she was good in it, as obviously, but like it just wasn't her match. Because yeah, I mean it was clearly more of a Lavi and Rose match than it was an Icon Academy match. This was like to kind of put them ahead, make them look really good, and they looked great. I love seeing Shozuki in form, love seeing Mai and Arena really go at it, and I think that this is just like a team that like kind of came along naturally, but is so great. I mean, I watched the house show earlier today, and like just Shozuki and Arena, even on their own, in a tag just work so well together and so naturally together. So I'm very happy with having these belts and having these champions because they really just kicked some fucking ass in this match.
Yeah. We'll get to that one after. But after the match, Natsumi Suzuki challenged Mai Watani to a title match. Um, so I am obviously disappointed that there is no Suzuki Iono match on the horizon, but I can kind of accept that if we're getting Suzuki versus Mayu. I don't know which belt she inevitably challenged for. I think it was the Superfly.
She said double.
Oh, double. Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, Suzuki versus Mayu setup. That's gonna be a great match. That is a throwback to early Stardom, considering
Yeah,
Suzuki was there in what 2013,
12,
Kairi's first tag partner.
2012.
Um, oh yeah, 2012. Wow, I didn't think she was that early, but yeah, that's a throwback to 13 years ago.
She was it gets kind of messy with the generations, but she was the second generation technically,
mm,
depending on if you count Saki Kashima as first or second generation, because it was like
yeah,
everybody, then Saki Kashima like 6 months later, and then a while, and then everybody again. Uh,
yeah,
but Saki was just kind of like on an island. So yeah, 2012. Yeah, this is old school. You know,
it is.
Planet. Were they both in Planet? No, Shizuki wasn't in Planet. I
Oh,
hate how often I hear about Planet.
no, I don't think Suzuki was Planet. I think that was Yoshiko, Mayu, Tayo,
No,
Io.
Io was in it.
Sure, Tayo wasn't. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think she was.
It doesn't matter. We weren't there. Um, yeah, that was another good cork from Marigold that I feel just kind of came and went with a shrug. I think that's maybe one thing that I would say they should try and change. I don't know how they would change that, but I feel like generally these shows happen and everybody just moves on, which
Wait,
isn't
no,
good for Korakuen Hall.
it was Shizuki.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was Io, Mayu, Arisa, and Shizuki.
Ah, right. Okay. The wrong tag team. They had AMA. I had Yoshiko and Tayo. All right. Um, yeah, Korakuens, Marigold. Try and get them to stick a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Because realistically, like, who was talking about this after 24 hours?
yeah, no,
You
I
know,
agree.
and it's obviously not the end of the world, but I do think they should try and make more of an impression. I just don't know how you do that, but
Yeah,
you know,
I will say also, not to be a Marigold defender, but I will say, was very funny. People were doing about Marigold, about the attendance, while
uh,
the lights were getting set up.
yeah, people are like, see,
That
there's
shit
nobody
was
there, and you're
funny.
like, the show hasn't started.
You see guys literally with the lighting rigs, like fucking. I'm just like, "What- can you see? Like I don't know. Like obviously it wasn't a packed house. I'm not fucking pretending like it was, but that was really funny.
Yeah, um,
um,
people have
yeah, I
really
don't know.
lost sight because 700 a month at Corkin used to be the industry leader for Joshi. Like,
Yeah, by far.
doing these numbers used to make Stardom by far the number one promotion in the scene. Um, so it's not like terrible that Marigold is doing that now, considering they likely make their big money from the pay per views regardless. You know,
Yes.
that is why they prioritize the pay per views. That's where the money is. They don't just do that because Rossi likes pay per view for no reason. Um, but yeah, I mean, 700 a month at Corkin is totally fine. Like, I feel like any promotion that does that would snap your hand off if you offered it to them. So, you know,
Yeah.
just all these newbies, they just don't get it. They just don't know the scene at all. But yeah, that was that show. We then had the Chikagoto Homecoming show on the 15th in the Sun Pearl Arakawa. It said 535 fans, which is very impressive. We opened with Naoshikawa beating Lady AI in 7.5 minutes. This was where I feel like Lady AI just made me laugh because Now was like hitting these like little kicks to her face. She was like, ah, ah,
She
she's
was like
screaming.
old school high, not high on,
Hanan.
old school Hanan.
She
Yeah,
was just screaming
because
for nothing. And I was like, dude, just like relax, just beat her. You're taller. Yeah, it was solid. I feel like Lady AI is a solid wrestler. She's not going to be like amazing, based on her current
no.
projections, but she's
Also,
like
I said she was
fine.
old. She's not old. Turns out.
Yeah, we're wrong. So maybe
My
she'll
bad.
grow taller. Who knows? Then we're doomed.
I don't know if she's that young, but
Yeah.
yeah. Would be really funny.
Yeah.
22-year-old or something, big ass growth spurt. Yeah, no, she's it was whatever. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was anything crazy, but I did kind of appreciate her, uh, you know, fighting roars.
Okay.
I always I think this is the opposite of a pet peeve, I guess. I don't know what it would be. Um, is wrestlers who are really loud. Like I think that's really cool.
I don't
I'm
know.
a big
They
fan.
used to put me off Toyota. I used to hate Manami Toyota matches because she would just screech
See,
constantly.
one of my favorites is he doesn't even be yelling, but Yoshinobu Kanemaru, like he is always doing the fighters like the shh shh like over and over like
Mm.
you don't notice it, but then you notice it and it's like holy fuck, he like the way he's breathing, like he just breathes so loudly with everything he does. It's kind of awesome. Because it just is like, he's so locked in, despite
Mhm.
being a drunkard. Like that's kind of the beauty of it.
Okay.
Um yeah, so I'm a big fan of the louder wrestlers.
All right. Um, they then had Megaton beat Komu Manami and Yuki Yamazaki in 10.5 minutes when she rolled up both of them.
I loved
Um,
this because I was like, "Holy fuck, Megaton has fucking plot armor now. This is awesome." 'Cause
yeah.
it's not even like she, like, was doing well or she, like, won legitimately or anything like it,
She still
but
sucks in
she
kayfabe.
still sucks, but, like, she's just like, "I'm gonna be a little bit smarter and a little bit luckier, and maybe I'll win sometimes." And I kinda loved that element of this match, was that it's like, "Oh, yeah, Megaton just might just not lose this match." Like that was kind of awesome. Even when she was just like hanging out on the outside of the ring, didn't want to get back inside. I was like, maybe those pin each other. Like maybe we're just like who knows? And then she ended up winning. I was like, that's hilarious. Like this is great. I thought it was a great through line of like Megaton just having plot armor now. It's so
Yeah.
much fun.
Unfortunately, it was not a good match. That's
I
kind of the
liked it.
problem.
I thought it was solid. I
It
thought
was a
because
bit.
it
No,
was
they had
mostly
like
Yuka and Komomo. I thought it was fun.
I don't know. They had like some funny ideas, but not 10 minutes worth of funny ideas. Like where they were both like, "Hey, you're the champion now. We're gonna put you in a
They start
submission," and the
yeah, they
crowd
started
can
beating
chant
the
for the
fuck out of her.
champion. But then like they did it for like forever, and I was like, "Okay, you got anything else?"
But
Um,
then they had their match.
yeah,
That's the thing is
yeah,
that I appreciated it for long enough to where by the time it was over, I was like, okay, I'm content with that. And then they started actually wrestling, and I was like, this is good
mm,
wrestling. So
okay,
I was chill.
that's fair. Arina Yamanaka and Natsumi Suzuki beat Koki Amare and Nagisa Tachibana in just under 9 minutes in our next match. Koki and Nagisa were unhappy fellows in this one. They did not want a team. They had a lot of miscommunications. Koki was being a bit of an arsehole, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, and Arina and Natsumi were a good pairing. Arina is so natural at like
Yes.
every aspect. I feel like if she was 10 years younger, she would literally be the white belt champion
Next
already.
days. Yeah.
Because like like even her like opening stuff with Tachibana and her posing was just the exact kind of character work and charisma that Rossi is big into. Like he fell asleep visibly for like most of the show. The only time he even cracked a smile was when Arena was like messing with Nagisa Tachibana. So yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. No, I thought this match was cool. It's always cool to see Shizuki kind of put motherfuckers in a blender. She
Yeah,
did that. Um, Koki did again, kind of like a timing thing. She was a bit too quick on this show in this match.
I feel
Where
like you have to give up on the Koki watch. She's just not good.
I disagree. I think she'll get there.
No,
Um,
how is it gonna
she's
get there?
she's my Justin Fields for pro wrestling.
Uh,
We just gotta send her to KC, man. Um, but I think that like she was just a bit too quick on a lot of these things. Like she got to a boot too quick. Shizuki couldn't counter it, so Shizuki just kind of had to eat it, and
mm,
Arena had to like kick her, like just like to like get the momentum shift. Like it was small things like that. But I thought the match was fun because yeah, I mean Arena, like you said, is a natural. She's just so cool. It just all yeah, like I'm booking her to win a fucking belt. Well, she has a belt, and I'm happy
hmm,
that she has a belt. But I'm booking her to be like a constant white belt challenger.
yeah,
Um, eventually win it when shit gets tough. You know, like I think she's great.
I agree. Our next match was Seria Miyoka and Shino beating Hummingbird and Miko Ono in just under 12 minutes.
I forgot to log this match.
Okay.
I did
This
watch
was
it.
this was a good match. I think it was let down by the production. Shino and Iono were like kicking each other for a bit, and you couldn't hear much. Likely the ring wasn't mic'd too well. And some of Shino's kicks just didn't really make much sound, regardless. But yeah, when Miku was responding, there was a bit of sound, but not much. And then the Seri Hummingbird stuff at the finish was pretty fun. I'm sure you saw the insane roll up thing Hummingbird did, where she like bridged backwards and held Seri's hands.
Yeah,
And
she
then
does that.
she just got Germaned and lost, which was hilarious. I was like,
I felt
hum,
so bad. I be tweeting.
Hummingbird,
Go ahead.
Hummingbird will literally do one of the most insane technical wrestling sequences you've ever seen, and then just stare at the lights 2 seconds later. It is hilarious.
I felt so bad because I be tweeting about Hummingbird pretty often. Um, but the one time she vanity searched and liked it was when I said, I want to make a Hummingbird video, but she just be losing too much.
Um,
I was like, she just gets beat up constantly. Those are
she does.
highlights. Start getting her ass kicked. And she liked that one. I was like, man, I'm sorry, HB. You know I love you, but this is tough. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I had fun with this one as well. I thought it was a fun time. Oh, Sheena looked good. Like I liked a lot what Sheena was doing here
Mm.
because it was her just kind of like I'm gonna kick the shit out of everybody, and she tried and she failed eventually. But I thought that was cool. I appreciated that. And then yeah, Sari Hummingbird was cool. Miku was cool throughout. I liked it. Good match.
Angel Hayze, Maddy Morgan, and Mai Sakurai beat Chiaki, Misamatsui, and Rei Seto in just under 11 minutes. Hayes got the win this time, so they did split the wins for her and Morgan. Hayes pinned Rhea, who has been getting beaten like a post lately.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a fine match, but I really liked the finishing stretch. I thought Hayes and Rhea did really good work down at the end, to the point where I was like, just give me a singles match. Just do Hayes versus Rhea on any show, and I will watch it. Um, but yeah, actually, Mai Sakurai worked really well with Hayes and Morgan. She is such a tag girly. She was like, we're going to do poses, we're going to do our stuff. It's going to be great.
She's
And it all just worked.
Miss Worldwide.
Yeah. So yeah, this was good mostly because of the final stretch. I thought, we've kind of said a lot that Seto is basically just the best closing stretch wrestler. And she kept that up here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I did like the closing stretch. I like some of it. Like I think the whites are all right.
Hmm.
The whites are that sounds like a Nick Fuentes slogan. Uh, but the sorry. The foreign girls are good. I think they uh are contributing nicely, and I think they'll continue to get better, which is important. Like I think that they're starting from a pretty, reasonable point, and they will get better from here. I think my Sakura, like you said, is kind of perfect to be paired with them because they like clearly she works well with foreigners and she wants to work with foreigners. She seems to kind of volunteer to do that often.
Mm.
So I've been in, I think that's a good kind of tether, when you need someone to like make them look good as a tag. I think that can be helpful. And yeah, I thought Rhea looked good as she often does also against foreigners, actually. But yeah, it was fun. Cool time.
Okay. Our main event was the Gochika Homecoming Special. Mayu Itani and Victoria Yuzuki beat Chikagoto and Utami Hayashishita in just under 23 minutes. This is a very good match, kind of held back from greatness by feeling really long. Like at a
Yeah.
certain point, I was like, is this going 30? But apparently it went 22. So not ideal. Some of the Mayu Gochika stuff was a little bit too cute as well. Like there was a little bit too much of Mayu being like, hey, you're the hometown girl, huh? When I would have liked her just wrestling. But I understand that this is a homecoming show. They're playing to the crowd. They're continuing the lore of Mayu always being upset at Gochika getting cheered over her in her own hometown. But yeah, like the action was good when they had some. I thought Yuzuki and Utami briefly were like sparks flying, and I was like, ooh, all right. Um, Yeah, it's just a very good match, but definitely I think could have been better if they had just kind of been a bit more focused.
Yeah, but I understood where they were like what they were going for here. Um, like I get that like you're right. There was a ceiling on it because of the nature of the match, but I also thought that the nature of the match made it more fun. Like I had a lot of fun with it, even if if this was in a Korakuen main event, it would be probably a better match, bell to bell.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I was happy to kind of get the tributes, not the tribute spots, but the more jokey spots. I thought it was cool. I love that they were all wearing her shirt. Thought that was
Yes,
really
that's
funny.
good.
And yeah, I had a fun time with that. I agree, it did feel quite long. And at points I was like, damn, we're just like it kind of felt like it was just like, not going in circles so much, but it was like, okay, damn, we're not close to the finish yet. We're like 15 minutes in. Okay, this is interesting.
Hmm.
But other than that, I had a really good time. I really liked the match. That was a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I
Um,
love Chikagoto and Utami as a tag team.
yes. And that was all for the two reviews from us.
That was.
There are two Marigold shows to preview. We will just blow through these. They are house shows. The first is on the 20th of March in Matsuyama. This opens with Sari Yamaoka versus Lady AI. Um,
Uh-oh.
uh, yeah, that'll be interesting for poor AI, but Sari's gonna win. Fresh meat for Sari to play with, though. It's good.
Yeah.
Hummingbird takes on Yuki Yamazaki in our next match.
Oh
That's
no, the dog is gonna eat the bird.
maybe. We have the third trial match of Syoko's 7-match series.
Mm,
Natsumi Suzuki takes on Syoko Koshino. I like this one, actually. I think this will be a good match. Syoko is going to stare at the lights. That seems to be what they're doing with this trial series.
yes.
Yeah, Suzuki could just eat her alive.
Match 7 is gonna be Megaton if she's gonna win the Independent Junior Championship.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that. I hope she faces Flying Penguin at some point. I think that'll be really funny.
Who would be wrestling as Flying Penguin?
I don't know. Anybody. Guess somebody from Glate. That's where she wrestles now.
Bro,
Flying Penguin
you
and Glate.
no, you should make Mayu be Flying Penguin. Dress up as Flying Penguin.
Yes. Okay.
Have her
Yes.
beat the fuck out of her.
Well, she already did. She already do?
Yeah,
No, that was Koki. She already beat up. So,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Get Maya to do it. All right. Our next match
No, she
is.
did. She did beat her up, but as Flying Penguin. Remember Mayu Flying Penguin? That was the
Oh
match.
shit! Yeah, yeah. I do remember that. Yeah, I almost blanked it. Um, our next match is Miko Ono, Koki, and Megaton versus Naoshikawa, Maddy Morgan, and Angel Hayze.
This has a low floor.
Yes, that's for
Like it
sure.
could be, it could be good, but it has a really low floor.
Yeah, I assume Naoshikawa is gonna lose.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, for now. What is it? Oh yeah, Mai Sakurai Shino and Tsuruhimeka versus Utami Hayashishita, Chikugoto, and Nagisa Tachibana. There's also a bunny lady
Yes.
in the corner of the graphic. I don't know who the bunny lady is. Is that Big Ego? Is it somebody else? I
No,
don't know.
I don't think that's egoist.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, Tsuruhimika is a nice addition. She'll probably lose. I mean, Utami could just German her and send her home.
Yeah, she do be doing that.
Our main event then is, stop me if you've seen this before, Mai Utani, Victoria Yuzuki, and Komo Manami versus the Darkness Revolution team of Chiaki, Misa Matsui, and Rei Seto.
Uh, I'm gonna stop you real quick because I have seen this before.
Whoa. Is
Yeah.
Nagisa Nozaki on the outs? Did she get fired? She hasn't been on any of the recent shows, has she?
No, but they just took pictures with her.
Okay, that's good. Because, yeah. Without her,
But
I'm just like, oh,
but I am also confused.
yeah, same. But hey,
It's like
here we are,
what day is this one on?
20th.
Uh, yeah, I don't know because she has a show. She has a seedling show the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, oh, and she has a like a event the day after.
Oh, right. Maybe that's why.
So yeah, I think she's just not on tour.
Okay. Well, hopefully. Um, we then
Maybe.
have another show on the 21st. We head to the Osaka 176 box. We open with Komomanami versus AI. So Komomo can get a win.
Yep.
Victoria Yuzuki versus Hummingbird versus Rhea Seto in our next match. Yuzuki over the bird.
Man, don't make me say it.
Okay. Natsumi Suzuki and Megaton take on Misamatsui and Chiaki. All right, sure. Megaton's plot armor is going to wear off.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Itami Hayashishita, Chikigoto, and Nashikawa take on Mai Sakurai, Angel Hayze, and Maddy Morgan. Once again, Nashikawa is staring at the lights.
Yeah, it's a pretty cold world, ain't it?
Yeah. The fourth match of Syoko Kushino's 7-match ordeal, it says here, is Syoko Kushino versus Mayu Iwatani.
Oh,
So the terrible Osaka crowd gets Mayu beating up Syoko Kushino.
but it's
Again,
not terrible because Shioko's hometown girl.
I don't know if that will salvage the
But I
box.
think that's the point.
Maybe. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Mayu's going to beat her. Our main event then is Seria Miyuka, Shino, and Yuki Yamazaki taking on Miku Ono, Nagisa Tachibana, and Koki Amare. I feel like the young ones have to beat Tachibana because they have
It's a
the
tune up for them.
they have the 3D title match at the Shrine, which we'll get to preview next week, I think. But yeah, that's the main event. That's a main event without Utami or Mayu. Isn't that crazy? Imagine saying
Rare.
that. Um,
I think they've decided that they just I don't know. I think they're kind of an interesting shape because am I feel like maybe they've realized, oh, maybe we should like build more things.
mhm,
Like I think we're finally in that period where they're like, oh shit, we're gonna have to like, you know,
do
try to
stuff.
try to do other stuff.
Crazy.
So
What a
yeah,
world.
interesting times.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back next week and we'll review what is up from those two shows, and we'll look ahead to Marigold has a show in Face on the 28th and the Shrine thing on the 29th. So that's two shows in Tokyo that they'll maybe want to put attention on. Yeah, the Shrine thing is sponsored, so I don't know like what they'll do beyond the 3D tile match. Honestly, they'll probably just be like, "Well, we did our job. Just have slop." But
Yeah,
yeah, you know,
don't gotta do much more
get
than that.
that bank, I guess. Um, yeah, that's that for the show. Hopefully we'll be back to Tuesdays soon because I do not like being up late on Wednesdays. But we can close the show unless you have any closing remarks.
Um, I do. How do you feel about the reunification of Ireland?
I saw they asked Danny about that,
He was
and
like,
I
I
was
don't
like,
know.
he definitely does not understand what that means. Like
He
he,
was asked again like a day later. He's like, okay, I read about it. Yeah, sure. But
oh
yeah.
sweet Jesus, yeah, didn't hear what you said.
They asked him again a day later, and he was like, "Oh, I read a little bit about it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, they should do that." And he
yeah,
just
because
like that was
I
it.
feel like he was asked and he definitely wasn't sure if it meant like rejoining England or getting the six counties back. So he was like, oh, fuck. Which is totally fair because most people do not understand what you mean by United
Mamdani's
Ireland.
just a funny guy because it's like the same thing happened with the parades thing, where he was like, I don't know what parades there are. Okay, I don't. It's not what I've been paying attention to, man. I have no answer for you. And they're like,
Yeah.
wow. So you won't show up for disabled veterans parade? He's like, no, that's not what I mean. What do you mean? No, I just I'm just
It's
not
almost
locked in
like
on the
he's trying to
parade.
run New York, you know?
Yeah. It's like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like and it's always that's always funny. But yeah, how you feel?
Yeah, Unite Ireland, obviously.
I
Give us
agree.
back the six counties
I agree.
that time. Because,
Yeah. I watched a YouTube video about it the
really,
other day.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
didn't
think I
know
can,
there were like Irish people who like firmly believe themselves to be like British, like
yeah.
aggressively. Like I know that they're like, oh yeah, you're from the UK, like oh you're kind of Brit, but like they'll be like, no, fuck you, I am British. It's like, but you're
Mm,
huh. Okay.
Well, they have like a lineage, I guess, and they get a lot of money from the
Yeah.
UK Parliament, so that's probably a big
Shit.
part. But still, give us them back. We would like them back. We're gonna do
It
it.
would make the map so pretty, because like right now it's like, but it'd make it the map. It would make it. You'd have the whole gimmick.
Yeah. No, yeah. But yeah, okay.
Plus, then you could claim Fit Finley, and I'm sure you want to do that.
I
He's a part of your favorite faction in wrestling,
Is he?
Birthright.
Oh, I've seen stuff about that. Yeah, I haven't actually watched it, but it seems fun. Um, yeah. Okay, NXT. Oh, NXT. All right. It is time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. Decide what you believe in.
Shine forever. Stardom Quest Gold. Passion.
Passion, Ijo.